Did you know that Tom Hanks, America's beloved everyman actor, has been hiding a secret talent that would make Jim Henson himself proud? While you've watched him charm audiences in Forrest Gump and Castaway, there's a side of Hanks that involves strings, puppets, and performances that happen behind closed curtains rather than on Hollywood sets. What I'm about to reveal will completely change how you see this Oscar-winning actor. Because Tom Hanks isn't just pulling at your heartstrings on screen. He's literally pulling strings in ways you never imagined. And the story of how this hidden passion shaped his legendary career is absolutely mind-blowing. Picture this. It's 1956 in Concord, California. A young Tom Hanks discovers something magical in his grandmother's attic. Not a treasure chest or old photographs, but something that would secretly influence every single performance he'd give for the next 7 decades. We're talking about a collection of marionette puppets his great-uncle crafted during the Depression. While other kids his age were playing with action figures and toy cars, Tom was mesmerized by the delicate art of bringing inanimate objects to life through careful manipulation. He spent countless hours studying the intricate mechanics of puppet movement, learning how subtle finger adjustments could convey entire emotions. This wasn't just child's play. This was his first masterclass in character development. But here's where it gets really interesting. Hanks has never publicly discussed this formative experience, and there's a fascinating reason why. In multiple interviews throughout his career, he's mentioned learning about authentic movement and finding truth in artificial situations during his childhood. Still, he's always attributed these lessons to watching classic films. The reality is far more hands-on and tactile. His high school drama teacher, Margaret Llewellyn, later recalled how Tom had an unusual approach to understanding his characters. While other students relied on emotional memory or method acting, Tom was often seen making small, precise gestures with his hands during rehearsals. She initially thought it was nervous energy, but eventually realized he was unconsciously applying puppeteering principles to human performance. This secret foundation explains so much about what makes Tom Hanks uniquely compelling on screen. Think about his most memorable performances. There's always this quality of deliberate, purposeful movement. Every gesture feels intentional, every facial expression precisely calibrated. That's not accidental. That's decades of understanding how to control and manipulate physical expression to maximum emotional effect. Consider his breakthrough television role in Bosom Buddies. While critics praised his comedic timing, they didn't realize that Hanks was applying advanced puppeteering techniques to live-action performance. The exaggerated movements, the perfect comedic pauses, the way he could make his entire body language shift when portraying his female alter ego. These weren't just natural acting instincts. These were refined techniques borrowed from the world of marionette theater. Fast forward to his early film career, and the evidence becomes even more compelling. In Big, Hanks had to convincingly portray a child's mind trapped in an adult's body. Most actors would approach this through psychological preparation, but Hanks took a different route. He studied how puppeteers animate characters with childlike wonder, observing the specific ways puppet masters create innocence and naivety through controlled movement. The famous piano scene at FAO Schwarz wasn't just improvised brilliance. Hanks later admitted he spent weeks practicing not just the piano playing, but the specific body language that would make an adult seem genuinely childlike. He studied marionette performances in which puppeteers had to convey age differences through their characters, learning that slight adjustments in posture and gesture could completely transform perceived age and emotional state. Here's something that will blow your mind. During the filming of Forrest Gump, director Robert Zemeckis struggled to find the perfect balance between Forrest's intellectual limitations and his essential humanity. Traditional acting approaches weren't working. Test audiences either found the character too cartoonish or too tragic. That's when Hanks suggested an unconventional solution. He proposed studying antique puppet performances, specifically focusing on commedia dell'arte traditions in which puppet characters maintain dignity despite their limitations. This research directly influenced his portrayal of Forrest, helping him find that perfect sweet spot between vulnerability and strength that made the character so universally beloved. The Castaway performance reveals even more about his hidden expertise. Being alone on screen for extended periods is notoriously difficult for actors, but Hanks seemed to thrive in this environment. Why? Because he'd spent decades practicing solo performances with marionettes, learning how to create compelling narratives without dialogue partners. The relationship between Chuck and Wilson, the volleyball, wasn't just brilliant writing. It was Hanks applying fundamental puppeteering principles to create an emotional connection with an inanimate object. He treated Wilson exactly like a puppet master treats their marionette, imbuing it with personality through his own projected energy and carefully controlled interactions. But the secret goes deeper than just performance technique. Hanks has been quietly involved in preserving traditional American puppetry for decades. Through a series of anonymous donations and behind-the-scenes support, he's helped fund puppet theater programs across the country. Several puppet museums have received mysterious benefactions that insiders trace back to the Hanks family, though Tom himself has never publicly acknowledged this philanthropy. In the late 1990s, he reportedly commissioned a private puppet theater to be built in his Pacific Palisades home. Neighbors have occasionally mentioned seeing elaborate puppet shows performed in the Hanks' backyard during family gatherings, though no photos or video evidence have surfaced publicly. These aren't simple children's entertainments either. Sources describe sophisticated productions with custom-built marionettes and complex staging. His son Colin Hanks has dropped subtle hints about his father's unusual hobby over the years. In a 2018 interview, Colin mentioned that his childhood was filled with unexpected performances and that his father had magic hands that could bring stories to life in ways beyond traditional acting. When pressed for details, Colin simply smiled and said, "Some family traditions are worth keeping private." The evidence extends to his professional collaborations as well. Directors who've worked with Hanks consistently describe his unusual ability to understand blocking and staging from multiple perspectives simultaneously. Steven Spielberg once noted that Hanks seemed to instinctively know how his movements would affect other actors in the scene, almost as if he were controlling multiple characters at once. This multidimensional awareness is a hallmark of advanced puppeteering, where masters must coordinate complex interactions between multiple marionettes while maintaining the illusion of independent life in each character. It's an extraordinarily rare skill that translates beautifully to ensemble acting. Clint Eastwood, who directed Hanks in Sully, mentioned being impressed by the actor's precise understanding of how small physical adjustments could dramatically alter audience perception. Eastwood described watching Hanks make minute changes to his hand positioning and shoulder angle that completely transformed the emotional impact of a scene. This level of physical awareness and control is virtually unheard of among traditional screen actors. The technological aspects of modern filmmaking have also benefited from Hanks's hidden expertise. During motion capture work for the Polar Express, technical directors were amazed by his intuitive understanding of how digital manipulation could enhance performance, rather than replace it. His approach to motion capture work showed clear influence from puppet theater principles, where performers must trust that their physical inputs will be translated into compelling visual outputs. Modern puppet masters who've met Hanks at industry events Describe conversations that reveal deep technical knowledge of string dynamics, weight distribution, and the physics of marionette movement. These aren't casual observations from a hobbyist. These are insights from someone who's spent serious time mastering the craft. The psychological aspects of his secret passion are equally fascinating. Puppeteering requires a unique form of empathy, the ability to project consciousness into an object while maintaining complete control over its expression. This dual awareness of manipulation and authenticity perfectly mirrors the challenges of screen acting, where performers must balance genuine emotion with technical precision. Hanks's legendary reputation for kindness and professionalism on set may also connect to his puppeteering background. Traditional puppet theater emphasizes collaboration and respect for the audience's willing suspension of disbelief. Puppeteers learn early that magic only works when everyone involved commits completely to the shared illusion. This philosophy has clearly influenced his approach to filmmaking, where he's known for maintaining the collaborative spirit necessary for movie magic to work. Cast and crew members consistently describe working with Hanks as feeling like participating in something larger than themselves, much like audiences at traditional puppet performances. The secrecy around this talent isn't about shame or embarrassment. Instead, it reflects a deep understanding of how mystery enhances artistry. By keeping his puppeteering skills private, Hanks maintains a sense of wonder around his performances that might be diminished if audiences understood all the technical elements involved. Traditional puppeteers have always understood that revealing too much about their methods can break the spell for audiences. Hanks seems to apply this same principle to his screen work, sharing enough about his process to educate aspiring actors while keeping the most magical elements mysterious. As we move forward into an era of digital entertainment and virtual performances, Hanks's hidden expertise becomes increasingly relevant. The skills required for puppeteering, precise control, emotional projection, and the ability to create life from lifeless materials are exactly what's needed for next-generation entertainment technologies. Virtual reality performances, motion capture artistry, and digital character creation all draw on the same fundamental principles that master puppeteers have practiced for centuries. Tom Hanks hasn't just been secretly maintaining an old-fashioned craft. He's been quietly preparing for the future of performance. So the next time you watch Tom Hanks bring a character to life on screen, remember that you're witnessing more than just exceptional acting. You're seeing the culmination of a lifelong passion for the ancient art of animation through manipulation. Behind every perfectly timed gesture and precisely calibrated expression lies decades of practice with strings, wood, and the mysterious alchemy that transforms objects into living characters. The man who made us believe in the magic of movies has been practicing real magic all along. And somehow, that makes every single one of his performances even more extraordinary.